Well, this is what's left of the old RS. It's been a darn good old car. Had, I believe it was 58,000 miles on it when I bought it. And it served me well. Really didn't have to do much of anything to this car. Other than normal maintenance, oil changes, things like that. The whole thing, been to Rhode Island, across the state over to Vero Beach a few times. It's just been a good car. But all good things must come to an end, as they say. And this is the end of it. That old 4-cylinder's out of the wagon. This one, of course, was a 3.1. And it is pretty well stripped now. And they're supposed to come and get it here in a little while to go to Ben's salvage. There ain't much here to salvage. I stripped it pretty well clean of everything. Anything and everything I thought I might need for the wagon back there. Which once this is gone, move that out away from the wall a little bit and get to work on it. And all this crap. We're talking everything out of that RS is going in this one. Don't seem to have run across any obstacles that may screw me up. All the wiring should interchange since I'm using the dash, and there's the dash and stuff. The dash out of the RS and all. I'll use the shifter, the brakes. I won't use the ABS. That will be deleted. Well, it won't be. This one didn't have ABS, but I'll unhook or not put all the ABS stuff on it. I guess the wires will have to be in there. Some of them I may be able to get out. We'll see about that as I go along putting the wiring in it. I may need to change some connectors. I'm not sure. I believe some of them may have they went to a smaller blade on some things and whatnot. I know on relays, but of course the relays will plug in because I use them off of the 94. But I may run into some problem on some pigtails and stuff. That'll all get sorted out as I go along. I'm kind of in a rush to get this thing going, but I have to be careful. Make sure I get everything right. Fuel tank and all, which is it's up here. That'll be going in it. That's out of the RS. Up there is the original one. But the fuel lines, I've got all the fuel lines. And kept all there's this back in there is the original fuel lines off of it. I kept them, but I have the RS's fuel lines, and kept the brake lines too. Since I've got a 94 Z24, I thought I might as well just keep them as well. There's the head of them, as you can see there. But I need to use the fuel lines on the station wagon to make the fuel rail up, up to the throttle body, and I'll connect easy, with the quick connects instead of have to change lines and stuff. It's just simpler this way. I just use these fuel lines and whatnot, and the exhaust stuff of it, the complete exhaust. It's not even been taken apart since I had the axle out and all that. Rear axle, took the fuel or the exhaust system out all in one piece. Right there is going to be an issue. The second design of the clamping system, the hanger at the back, but what I'm going to do is just put a sheet metal bolt in it to hold it, and then I'll take and I guess have it tack welded maybe. There's no way I can get a nut, a bolt and a nut through it. I'll have, like it was originally had this one has, you can't see it of course, but it had a nut welded in on the inside of the frame across there where the hanger would attach. So it had the provision for a bolt to go through with a nut that was welded on the inside. Of course, this one you can't get to it to do that. I think there might be a little hole, but I still don't think I'd be able to get a nut in there, much less to be able to get it tight. So I'll just put a heavy sheet metal bolt in it, and or metal screw, you know, metal bolt, and hang it. And then when I get it going, I'll take it to a shop and just have them tack weld it, just to hold it in place. It doesn't have to come out to be able to just change the rubber insulator. You can get those out with this still in the car, so the mount itself will be fine. But it's just little things. I got to do some electrolysis on the fan. The squirrel cage box I guess is what it's often referred to. It was pretty rusted. I don't know where it's at offhand. I don't know if this is it or not. Yeah, I guess this is it right here. But you probably can't see in here. But yeah, it was pretty rusted. But I'm gonna do electrolysis on it and get it cleaned up, and then paint it with some epoxy paint to take care of that. So I may even try and get done today. And there's a few places I need to fix the seal, the seam seal, clean the rust out and just reseal them. There's only a few places like that, very few. This whole car is pretty well rust free, but that's going to be my utility vehicle. SUV before there was an SUV. I have a beefy suspension. It's going to be mostly FE3 stuff. Well, yeah, it will be all FE3 stuff, except I've got Moog springs, and I've got the heavy-duty Wagon springs, GM heavy-duty Wagon springs. There's a larger diameter wire that they were made from. They're stiffer, have a heavier load rating. They'll go in the rear, and then I have Moog cargo springs in the front, and KYB struts or shocks in the back. I actually have a set of Monroe struts somewhere around here in a box that came with this car that were brand new. So I'm just going to use them in the front since I got them. They should be fine. I think. I mean, it's not really going to be for performance, but I still want the crisper handle. I got the 2.5 rotation steering rack right here. It'll go in it. I don't know where the original is. I actually think I returned the original when I bought one for the core exchange. Took the original out of this one to return it. I'd gotten a new one. This is another. It's one out of the 92 C24. It needs to be rebuilt. But rather than rebuild it, I've got the kits, but rather than rebuild it, I just bought another one. Then, I figured it wouldn't hurt to have some extra ones. So this is actually going to be it's a spare. It needs to be rebuilt, but it'll be a spare. And this one needs a seal here. It probably should all be resealed. Also, it needs a pressure line. I noticed there's a lot of oil on the pressure line, so I need to change it, but it wasn't leaking nowhere really back here except a little seepage under there where they normally do, but I put a seal in that, and may actually put seals in the shaft itself too. We'll see. I've never done that before, but I don't think it's too difficult. I saw a good video on doing them, one very similar to these, and also have the manual, so I think I should be able to tackle that job pretty well. I've got to press in. I got my press there. I got to press in new bushings in the control arms, and just a lot of work. Hoping to have it done within a month. I don't know. That seems like optimistic, but I think I can do it. Because everything is here, and once I get this car out of the way, so I can move this over and get room around it, it'll be a whole lot easier to sort things. But yep, this one was a good old car, about too good to really junk. I mean, you see, it's really rust-free completely car, but I don't need it. It's just, I needed the parts and stuff more than I needed the car. So, as sad as it is, it's going to be going here in a little bit. But, oh well. There's my newest addition. It needs an engine. That's the one that you'll see some videos on the channel with of the cam wore down, and that's from that one. But little by little, I'll probably get a 3400 in it. Got the original engine around here somewhere, but I don't think I'm gonna mess with that. I think I just put 3400. I kept the bumpers and whatnot. I've got some phase 1 bumpers, but didn't have any phase 2 that had the crush barrier thing, or whatever you want to call it, 5 mile an hour thing on them. So I kept these just to have them. But and a lot of other stuff, I don't mind collecting junk. I got to find me a bracket for this. I got to have the phase 1 bracket. This is off the 94. I need a phase 1 bracket. I got to see if I can't round one up somewhere. I was supposed to have one, but I ain't seen it yet. It's in a box somewhere. I'm sure I do have an extra one, but I don't remember where it's at. But anyway. So that's where I'm at. Lots of work, lots of junk everywhere. Those refrigerators were going to be converted into a powder coating oven. But I just ain't had time to mess with it. But I don't want to get rid of them. I want a big, tall oven, and I ain't wanting to spend thousands of dollars on one. I do it, have a do-it-yourselfer. I've got an old stove back here that this engine's sitting on. I bet you can't even see it. Well, it's back in there, trust me. That needs are all the parts for a powder coating oven are in it. The heating elements and the controls and whatnot. So I'll get me one made one of these days. I was hoping to have that done so that I could powder coat the axle, the rear axle, trailing link, whatever you want to call it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I bet you can't see back in here for nothing, probably. But well, there's the original 88, I believe it is, and then over here is the 94. But they're both the same thing, really. And I am going to put the bigger brakes, the 94 brakes on here. I've got the knuckles out right there for them, and whatnot. But that's about it.